It's alive.
So I'm a commercial crab fisherman here in the Chesapeake Bay of Maryland. But last spring, I had the questionable idea to go try to catch blue catfish. Huge blue! That is awesome! I built an entire contraption in the spring to try to catch these fish. They make all the equipment that I've been building to try this. But this is a pretty experimental fishery. Oh my God, I almost broke my wrist. I could go buy a brand new line drum and Fairlead for $5,000, $10,000, but I don't have any idea if I'm gonna make a single dime catfishing like this. So I just decided to build everything that I need out of just junk that's laying around the marina here. We got our line spool made out of an old hose reel for a fire truck. The harmonic balancer off of my 350 Chevy. Got a hand tong puller cut in half. The lawnmower pulley welded on it to a plate, piece of angle that's gonna be our hinge. Moment of truth. See if it works.
Do you need a Band-Aid?
Yeah, I'm all right. I got some electrical tape up there.
First trial. Nice, nice. It actually kind of works.
Goes slack. I was thinking free spool. And then when you hit the pedal, boom. So it works pretty well, but we gotta beef up this pulley on the end. We gotta weld a bar down this plate to stiffen that up and get a little more tension on the belt. Engineering the crew out of their jobs. Got one down, we got one more to go. I feel like I'm on my favorite YouTube channel, Pakistani Truck. It actually seems to work surprisingly well. After we modified it a little bit, we're gonna spool some line and then go try it out.
Looks like old Luke Tube cat fisherman crabber out here on the Weebo. We're gonna stop and say hi. Man, that is a heck of a boat there, isn't it? Good grief. Is that your winder? Let's see how you, yeah! That is a catfish rig right there.
Yeah, that's a catfish killing machine, son. That's a fire hose reel from Revere Beach Fire Department. I'm proud of that. That worked good.
It's impressive.
Oh yeah.
I have something like that at my house.
Let me get it. CJ's jealous. His whole crew's jealous of this invention here. That's primo engineering. That does look like something.
Proud of you.
That's like something CJ would talk about building, but never would.
Hey, get it all figured out, and then I'll just copy it all.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. He uses me. I seen he just set all down me on the end of biking there, and he went hog for hog on the south side of the bar. He likes to just use me to hold his spot.
Did I get over you?
We're gonna find out.
Winder that we built works really awesome. It did break, but that was the spot I knew it was gonna break at some point. I didn't think it was gonna break so early, but it did. And it cracked. And that's because this is not a solid axle that runs all the way through this drum. This is just welded right to here. Because this is just sheet metal, I could see it tin canning. So now we gotta build another one. This was pretty much just a prototype. We built it in half a day. I'm gonna try to make a little beefier version out of stainless. How do you like this deal? It's a milk crate flipped upside down to hold all my window sash weights. Pretty much this reel is necessary for this fishery, I found. I did it with somebody pulling the line in. Just never gonna be able to fish enough line in a timely manner to make that efficient. This thing has to be able to spool all the line, pull the boat along with a little help from just bumping it in reverse. It kind of keeps it on track. But the other thing is that it has to be clutched, hence the belt system. And the reason you want it to be clutched is so that you can kind of use it as a brake when you're shooting line away, but you can also use it to pick all the line back up, but you don't want to put too much tension on the line when you don't need it. And if you have to stop the whole operation because somebody's held up, to avoid getting a hook in a hand or something, you're not reaching over trying to mess with hydraulics and all that kind of stuff. You just let off the pedal. So this basically is doing everything we need. The sheet of metal somebody was scrapping, which is crazy. It's probably a $1,000 sheet of stainless right there. And then the center of this thing is a piece of an old conveyor that ended up down here that they cut up to use all the bearings for other things. So far, $0 invested. It's like you machined it. That is perfect. Well, I did all this work to extend this out and then made it an inch short. So had to cut it in half again. Not bad. I'm a little disappointed it doesn't make that scraping sound every time it goes around. You know what I've found about projects like this is that you are the biggest idiot in the world, according to everybody else, when you're trying it. But when it works, You're a freaking genius. So the next issue is something to track the line evenly across the drum as I'm working. And like on a fishing reel, because the line is piling up on one side, to have to try to manually track the line while also trying to drive the boat is not really feasible. So this is a bunch of junk that I found. I take a plate like this. I have sprocket on either side. And then I'll use this hydraulic orbit motor. Fits on the sprocket quite nicely. Mount it under the plate. I'll have a valve to be able to turn that on and off. This chain is gonna go around in a circle. That gives me my back and forth motion without having to bottom out a screw. Problem is, if you were to mount it like this, when you spin, it flips. On the back side, it's gonna be facing the wrong way. Now this would be fantastic if I was trying to make something to spool line and tangle it all into a giant mess. But this caster wheel moves. If I were to mount this on this chain, as it goes around, the line could run through a pulley mounted maybe like a circle mounted like this. So as this goes around, this bottom bearing is spinning, okay, allowing it to not get tangled all around the chain. And it's also gonna track wherever the line is going. But it's gonna do this back and forth motion, tracking my line onto the spool. In theory, I don't even know what this even is. I just know that I think it will work if I stick all these parts together with a welder. I have various pieces off of like conveyor belts and scrap metals and bearings out of junk. This is a precision tool, and I'm utilizing very little precision. All right, now that I have all my holes drilled here, my orbit motor can mount in one. I'm gonna take this bearing and mount it upside down on this one here. I can't get this one gear on. I don't understand. I thought maybe there was a burr, but it doesn't seem to be. Maybe I'll try sticking this gear in the freezer. This is the point of no return here. You know, I know once I slam this gear on, it's gonna be impossible to get it off. If it'll even go on. Oh my gosh. Gotta be an easier way to get this thing on. I hope that never has to come off. I think I'm gonna have to cut this chain. I need one more link. Whoa! That is gonna be a finger pinching son of a gun there. I just need to figure out something with this caster and how to attach it here. I think this is off a shopping cart. So this has got to be my line guide here. If I take this shackle, weld it just like that, and then maybe weld a bolt on either side on the inside so that the line doesn't chafe on any sharp corners, that'll work nicely. I cut these flat. I can put it up against here. I'm gonna drill a hole through this link, put a bolt with a washer and a nut on it to hold it like this. That is perfect. I decided since there's a lot of force on the chain this way, it'd be really nice to have an idler gear in the middle to span this whole thing. Let's see if this thing works. Here's our line guide. The chain goes around, and then this will ride around this track and track the line back and forth. I got the hokiest hydraulics ever because I only have so many parts, and you gotta just do what you gotta do to try it. So I got a valve here, a limiter valve. We're about to see if it works. Oh yes, that is way too fast. Pretty sure there needs to be a bypass between these two. If you shut this off, then this stops, and then you're just blocking all the hydraulic power. That's not good. I installed this bypass with a valve and a bypass hose. I'm hoping it acts sort of like a PTO bypass where it'll allow all the fluid to pass to run this other motor, but a little bit of fluid to pass through here to slow this orbit motor down. Before, the way I had it, if you just shut the valve off, it just builds pressure, it'll blow a hose. Hydraulics on, this one's spinning. If we open this valve a little bit, it's moving. Perfect, that's awesome, but it's not moving. That's full tilt, that's far too fast. We need this thing to move like this fast. I've successfully made a huge mess. Made some really hokey crap, so now I gotta test it. So I think I'm gonna take that little boat, take that line with some of those weights and drag them all the way out there and then pull it in and see if this works. That's gotta go way slower. Well, it really doesn't work. It moves too fast and then it slows down and stops and moves too slow and then moves too fast. It's like, it's not consistent. It doesn't really work at all. That is really discouraging. I gotta come up with a new system. Basically, I only have one hydraulic circuit on this boat. If you plug this orbit motor that runs this line tracker into the same hydraulic circuit that you need to run the line drum, then you cut a lot of the hydraulic power from here. And this spins, this needs to spin, but very slowly. And that's not a super simple problem to solve because here we have a vertical shaft that's creating torque, but if we need to make it correlate with the drum itself, we need to take horizontal spinach and turn it into vertical spinach and then gear it way down. So I'm not really sure how to do that, but I have some ideas. Whether they're safe or not, possible? Yes, I think so. Pretty much how most of commercial fishing works. So of course we have to consult the junk pile. This is pretty much my Disneyland here. And this came to mind. This trailer jack takes horizontal torquage and turns it into vertical torquage. And I think there's a little gear in there. This thing is beat to crap, but I think this could work. And these bicycle sprockets also are inspiring me right now. I literally don't even know how this thing works inside. I'm just cutting it open to figure it out. This spins, and then this shaft spins. This could be the ticket. Typical Luke behavior here. I'm removing an actual nice piece of machinery to replace it with literal trash. Look at that. I can't believe that gear came off. Can't believe I found a gear puller. This is going too well. Nice. We gotta remove the nice hydraulic motor and replace it with the actual trash. I need this shaft to be straight out. Can't heat it and bend it because I'll melt the plastic out of here, and can't put a pipe on it because I know this cheap Chinese junk is not gonna hold up. I'm gonna use some of this stuff, a little pushing improperly to extend it. We got our trailer jack, this little collar thing, our extension, and weld it together. This is just like one of those like 5-minute craft videos. You know, you see those videos and you're like, they shouldn't be doing that, but they do it anyway. That's me. This is third world country level stuff. Although I've seen some pretty inspiring things in third world countries. I have no idea if this is square. That is a masterpiece. Oh God, dang it. Woo, that hurt. Yep, welding cast metal to sheet metal is always really ideal. There is our horizontal torque to vertical torque. Lawnmower pulley. We got like a Teflon bushing in here. Piece of C-channel. I think that's a pipe hanger or something. There'll be a belt on here, and when this spins, it goes into our little trailer crank thing, spins this. So now we gotta get one of these gears onto here. How, you may ask, am I going to do this? I have no idea. Oh, after an entire day and having to re-engineer the entire project, I still don't know if it's gonna work at all. I do know that when you turn the pulley, the thing goes around and around and around. So the idea is that when you step on that pedal, there's a belt here and it spins this line drum. And then there's gonna be a pulley on here that goes to this one. When this spins, this spins. And when this spins, that goes across and tracks the line evenly across the line drum so it doesn't pile up on one side. Problem now is that the boat won't start. We're once again just gonna eyeball it. Huh? I'm talking to my my real friends. Yeah, I made the bearing with a pipe hanger so that you can pull it off and put the belt for the thing on here. I don't need an actual hammer. We finally got the thing installed. We have the line tracker here, the line drum. We have a belt from this that spins up to here. When this spins, it tracks the line back and forth, and I put a bigger pulley on it so it goes a little slower. This will evenly disperse it across the drum. It's definitely cutting edge technology from the turn of the century. We'll see if it works, if I can get the boat to fire up. I gotta put a new battery in the thing. Yes, I finally got the freaking boat to start, thank the Lord. You don't tie your boat throttle up for high idle in those cold mornings, you ain't no crabber. We're gonna flip the hydraulics on. I think, if I remember, this one does hydraulics. Look at that, it works. Look at that. Ha! That's crazy. This orbit motor spins and it spins this belt. And it works. This thing is a beauty here. Nice. First freaking day driving a boat. It's working terribly so far. Spent 2 days working on this thing. right, so we got that line all the way down with the weight. I'm just putting the weight on there to replicate, you know, hauling an actual line with fish on it. Yeah, I hope it works. It was kind of a pain to build. We are going to stick the line in the fair lead here. It actually kind of works. That's incredible. That is some steampunk engineering right there, out of nothing but real, actual, genuine junk. If there was one word to describe this, I would say sketchy. I guess you know what that means. It's time to go fishing. I got my intrepid crew. Here's AJ's brothers over there grabbing some bait. We're tying up some leaders, and we're gonna take this thing out and go try to catch some catfish here in January. I have no idea if you can even catch them this time of year. I know they do feed all year. That's part of the reason they're so detrimental to the environment. All the other fish and their metabolism slowed down. The crabs are trying to bury up. These fish are out there and they're eating heavy. We have about 100 of these hooks here. We're gonna cut some pieces of bait, put them on these hooks. January weather, blowing about 15 from the northwest. See if we can find us a spot that's a little out of the way. Lay a couple lines, see what we can't catch. Fired right up, baby. I think we're ready to go. Boys are baiting up. I'm ready to shove off. My mother-in-law got me this sticker for Christmas. It's fitting. All right, we're headed out of the creek. We're off. So we're gonna set 2 lines here. We're gonna set one in the creek, and we're gonna go out into the bay and set one out there. I've never caught them like this in the winter. I mean, usually in the summer, we only let them sit an hour or so. None of us went overboard, so that's good. Got 50 more hooks ready to go. We're gonna set the second line. We're actually gonna leave these lines sit overnight because it's cold out. Come pick them up tomorrow morning. I got my brother with me today, and AJ's in the back there somewhere. You think we're gonna catch anything? No. Logan? Oh yeah, I got faith. I'm giving it like a 30% shot. It's even colder today than it was the other day. There's actually the whole creek has got skim ice on it. Perfect day for fishing. Oh, mint. It's like 20 degrees out right now. That thing started so easily. Best running boat I own. We got 2 lines to haul up. There's probably a little bit over 100 hooks. See if we caught anything. Oh boy, first 2 baits. Not a great sign. Pull the baits off and then stick the hooks there. Oh yes. It's moving very slowly. Oh no, got stuck on the loop. Forgot about that. Oh, she's a screaming demon, dude. She's quick. Oh no. The hydraulics are moving so slow because the fluid's so cold. Come on, fish. No. Come on, we gotta get at least one. Got like 100 baits in the water. Fairlead actually seems to be working like pretty decent. Hard to believe, all these baits, not a single fish. Baits ain't even ate off of it or anything. Not even nudged. Sometimes when the line's drugged, there's a fish on it. Honestly, the little Fairlead machine's working pretty freaking good. It's doing its job. Tracking the line. Bait's missing off of that one. Oh, not looking good. Couple hooks left on this set. I think that was the last one. No fish on that one. Dang. First one, striked out. No fish, but look at that. That did exactly what it was supposed to do. Actually worked a lot better than I was expecting it to. Well, no fish, unfortunately. Not today. We're gonna have to try this again in the spring. Spring is definitely more the time where this is a little more lucrative and there's a few more fish around to actually catch. But you don't know unless you try, so we gave it a go. But the machine actually worked pretty well. January's tough, man. It's a tough time to make a living on the water. Well, I was wrong. AJ was right. AJ gets no fish. I think they're around. You just gotta find them. It's the fact that that thing actually kind of worked and didn't fall apart or explode, catch on fire, or break into a million pieces. I'm taking that as a win.